There's a new format? What's the new format, Mama Bear Dragon? We're doing the pre-show. People arguing about access to pizza as a human right. I like it. I think there's some others that we should probably prioritize, but eventually, it is delicious. I think it's the best food, actually. Anyway, welcome everyone. We've got a lot to talk about, including something that I missed. It's possible you've seen it, but the Denver Post, which is one of the obviously the big sort of like home state newspapers for Colorado, has come out with their unendorsement of Lauren Boebert, and it is just amazing. I could not agree more with basically every line in it. So we're going to be going through that. Lasagna is pretty great. But can it really be said to be the best food? Because the best food can't just be judged on how much you enjoy it. I think there needs to be a consideration of cost and difficulty in acquiring it. It's much more difficult to get lasagna than pizza. Anyway, yes, join the thunder. The new version is out. We did a little bit of tweaks based on some feedback in the font, and we wanted to add some fire and everything. Same basic design though. So some of you don't get scooped today. Scooped on what? Who? What am I going to get scooped on? Anyway, some of you jumped on the early version, and that is now incredibly limited. Years from now, you'll still be able to get this, but not that early version. So wise of you to jump on it while you could. But this one is also awesome, and it's available at Shop TYT right now. So anyway, we're going to jump into the news in just a sec. We're going to start off with our rundown of the numbers, but if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that would be great so people know we're live. It looks like slightly less than 1 in 3 of you have. I don't know about that. I'm not on iOS, so I don't actually know what happened with the format. I apologize. Anyway, let's see what's going on in the numbers. Predicted yesterday. I mean, we've been working towards this for a while, but I predicted yesterday that we would finally see the turnaround when it comes to COVID, and that has, in fact, begun. For the first time now in what feels like a couple of months, COVID cases are actually up 2% on average over the last 2 weeks. Hospitalizations also up. Deaths still trending down. In fact, seemingly more significant. It's weird. I don't always know exactly why. It wasn't negative 10% a few days ago. God only knows what it'll be tomorrow. Hopefully it'll continue. We're at less than 350 deaths per day. I can't even recall the last time we had less than 200. Maybe we'll get there. Gas prices pretty constant, up 0.7 cents. So nothing significant happening there. And what we'll really probably have when it comes to that sort of thing is, does this happen every morning? Is it only on YouTube? I'll get to that in 1 sec. The economic, baseline, I guess, what people think of the economy, it's probably being locked in right now. There is not a lot of time left for that to change, to influence people's opinions. And bear in mind that every day more and more people vote early, vote by mail, and all of that. So, but anyway, if this is the first damage pre-port that you've come to, yes, we do it actually pretty much every weekday. I try not to miss any. Hey, Panic, how's it going? I try not to miss any. It does occasionally happen, and sometimes it's quite short, so apologize for that. But anyway, yeah, it's just an opportunity to cover a few more stories that we can't fit in on the full show. It's a little bit more casual, and we're allowed to swear, so that's fun. Anyway, if you're enjoying it, hit the like button, please. John Williams says, okay, I'm new to TYT, just started watching some content from a year or two ago. Does TYT have a forced workout diet routine, or is it just a great place to work everyone gets cut? I didn't know that was common, but I think, you might have experienced this too at home. The last couple of years have been really rough. I mean, COVID, economically, but also in terms of news. And I don't know, sometimes it's nice to just focus on yourself a little bit, try to maintain a little bit of sanity. I do that in a lot of forms. Exercise is one of them, but hobbies. I've done a lot of writing, actually. Some of the people who've been reading my writing say that it's nice to have something light that's not super dark and newsy, but what they don't realize is that's why I'm writing it, actually, is because it does the same thing for me. And I will let you know, yesterday, so the first of the month is when I release my new short stories on Peanut Butter Storytime, my Patreon, available at patreon.com/John. And yesterday I put up a pretty big one, actually. It's called The Traveler, and it's the latest in one of my Tales of Cloak and Claw. It's my fantasy world of all animals, inspired by things like Redwall and Mouse Guard and stuff like that, The Secret of Nim. It's a world of high fantasy with animals. And so it's a story of a siege of a remote woodland village and a traveler who comes who might be able to save them. I had a lot of fun. It's got some fighting. It's got some trickery. I liked it. Anyway, that's available at patreon.com/John Irola, as well as, I don't know, 6 or 7 other stories, a bunch of podcasts, behind the scenes. At a certain tier, I do dramatic readings, sort of like story time. I actually read the story. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, let's talk about some more news. John Fetterman, he is doing a good job in making sure that everyone knows that Dr. Oz currently employs multiple actual insurrectionists. These are people who participated in the Capitol in January 6th, not all of them necessarily attacking the Capitol, but they were there as a part of that movement, and Dr. Oz just loves them. He thinks people who tried to overthrow democracy should be a part of his staff as he tries to be a democratically elected representative. So isn't that fun? By the way, some of the last polls are coming out for that race, and it looks like the debate didn't have much of an effect on the race. I thought initially maybe the numbers had changed by a point or two, but it isn't super clear that that actually happened. And right now it still looks like Fetterman probably up by about 4 points. If you're in that area, please vote. More importantly, please confirm other people. Get other people to go and vote. Make sure that they send in their ballot if they haven't already. Bring them if you can. It's a super important race. We cannot have Dr. Oz serving as a senator. We've got a candidate for Secretary of State in Michigan, Christina Caramo. Secretary of State in an important state, Michigan, a state where maybe the presidency will come down to it. She believes that people sell body parts after abortions, which the abortions are satanic rituals. That's why they do it. They get someone pregnant and then they abort the baby as part of a satanic ritual. They harvest the organs, they drink the blood. She believes all of these things, and she wants to literally be the official in charge of elections in Michigan. Add that to the long, ever-increasing list of candidates that we need to carefully watch on Election Day. Because bear in mind, some of these secretaries of state are going to get through, and then we're just going to have to cross our fingers and hope that they don't do anything insane, that they don't overturn the results of the election in Michigan, or take a bunch of people off the voter rolls, or make sure that some neighborhoods get voting machines and others don't. A lot of stuff like that. Okay. Thank you, Janet. I will check that. It's been quite busy. Bolsonaro is still not conceding. Oh, by the way, Tucker Carlson, who of course loves Bolsonaro, he loves fascist leaders in countries around the world, is saying that there's a lot of reason to believe the election wasn't fair. A lot of evidence, like I don't know. He didn't present any, but why would he have to? Look, his base has been told that this guy's a right-winger, so they'll like him. They'll trust Tucker Carlson on that. Beyond that, what do they know about that system? What do they know about Brazilian? Literally nothing. There will be nobody checking it. He just says, obviously. So Tucker Carlson is, again, he's just Alex Jones. That is all he is at this point, except he has this aura of respectability for some reason. He's maybe richer than Alex Jones. I'm not even sure about that. Every election where the right-winger loses was stolen. Every single election, all of them. No right-winger, no matter where it is, can ever legitimately lose an election. Okay? It's the sort of insane bullshit that Alex Jones would rant about. Now it's just a monologue typed up in a teleprompter for Tucker Carlson to deliver. It's actually less talented overall of a performance than Alex Jones, because Alex Jones would do that like at most extemporaneously. He just says this stuff. Whereas for Tucker Carlson, that needs to be written out. I don't know. Abstract Dragon says, hey, John, I want to make sculptures of your animals, bring your story to life. Please, Abstract, that would be awesome. We have one of your amazing works of art here in the studio. I would love to see that. You know what I would love to see? So I've art, I've taken to generating AI based art to accompany each of the short stories because I'm not a great artist and I don't have the money to pay for great artists just yet. I would like to do that. But I would love if anybody wanted to do fan art of any of the stories, of any of the characters, especially the animals. I think that would be amazing. I would love it. Okay, yeah, I wish I had an iPhone. Not I don't want to switch over to an iPhone, but I am curious about the experience. Release a miniatures pack based on John's animals. But there's a lot of great animal miniatures out there available. Anyway, Biden is going to give a big speech later on today about the threats to democracy, the normalization of political violence. I hope it's good. I hope some people pay attention. I hope it gets through. Maybe. Thank you, Abstract. I'll watch for that. We'll see. The stakes are so high. Almost no matter what. By the way, the Biden administration, the first term is like they're not going to maintain Congress. Like the question is, do they maintain the Senate, which is of the two more important here? Well, I mean, stopping needless impeachment on a weekly basis would be good, but he needs to get Supreme Court justices if an opportunity comes up. He's a lot richer than Alex Jones. Jesus, I don't know. They're both endlessly rich. Again, like rich people love to compare bank accounts or whatever. They have endless money. They have impossible, just more money than anybody could ever spend. When you compare it to the experience of you or I, it doesn't matter. Like maybe there's nicer yachts and not as nice yachts, but when you're buying a yacht, I don't fucking care about you at that point. Like you're gonna be just fine. You don't need my consideration at that point. It can be saved for other people. Let's jump now into Lauren Boebert. So Denver Post, big newspaper, obviously in Colorado. One of the reasons I want to cover this, by the way, is there is at least a very small chance that maybe Lauren Boebert could lose. This is a contested election. Some of the polls have actually been within a few points. I'm not saying it's super likely or anything, but it is possible. And so I like when newspapers do the responsible thing and call it like it is. So we have an example of that right here. They say endorsement, please don't give your vote to Lauren Boebert. Adam Frisch has no desire to impose liberal policies on the people of his district. I don't know. That may or may not be true. I don't know. I don't particularly care. What I care about is getting rid of Lauren Boebert. We beg voters in Western and Southern Colorado not to give Representative Lauren Boebert their vote. Boebert is not represented in the 3rd Congressional District well. Almost exclusively, she has spent her time and efforts contributing to the toxic political environment in this nation. That is indisputably true. She doesn't care about legislation, so when she's in D.C., she's not doing anything. She doesn't care about, like, constituent work. Remember, like, it's like a quaint, old-school traditional thing, but you used to do stuff to help the people in your district. Very few actually do that. There are some. AOC is constantly doing that sort of work, but not Lauren Boebert. They go on to say, the good people in this district are not angry and abrasive. They are not hateful and caustic. They do not boast of their own prowess or sling insults as entertainment. Who does that describe? Boebert's unproductive approach, combined with the efforts of others, have helped erode Congress's ability to honestly debate public policy that could help people in the district. They go on to say some stuff about Adam Frisch. That's important too, talk about his business record and everything. They say Boebert, in contrast, is unable or perhaps unwilling to articulate any policy nuance on the extraction of oil and gas owned by taxpayers from our public lands. It is indisputable that she is unwilling to do that, but I love pointing out that she's perhaps just unable. She probably doesn't know much more about the oil industry of Colorado than you or I do, and I know diddly squat. Anyway, rather than talk about these issues, Boebert slings mud. They talk about how she constantly was talking about Nancy Pelosi and criticizing the moderator at a debate that was supposed to be about actual substance. They talk about how she has frequently joked about members of Congress that are Muslims being terrorist bombers and throws around the term jihad squad. How she attacked Don Coram, another Republican that had previously been in the race, as a groomer, which is insane. She repeatedly refuses to take the high road, even though Adam Frisch's campaign has not talked about the various allegations against her. They go on to talk about a whole bunch more stuff about 1776 and her close ties to election denialism and insurrection. It is not too much to ask that Boebert distance herself from this group instead of making their calls for violence, including against the U.S. government, mainstream. She has refused to address the issue. We grieve that this is who represents our great state in Congress, a state known for our moderate positions and our policy-first approach to politics. Rejecting all Boebert has come to represent, angry rants without offering real solutions, is important for the 3rd Congressional District, Colorado, and this great nation. Frisch is a solid candidate who will stay in the district in an honorable way. I don't know how many people still get their, voting guidance from newspapers, and we are very close to the election, but they are super right to say what they said. Again, I don't know a ton about Adam Frisch, but I do know, unfortunately, regrettably, a lot about Lauren Boebert. I think that we all do. And while she's not like the most important person to get out of elected office, I don't think, she's certainly in the top 20. She's a thorn in the side of anyone who wants politics to be bearable, productive, responsive. We got to get her out of there. Anyway, I want to thank you all for being here and then let you know that, hey, you got a show going on over at Watchlist. YouTube.com/WatchlistTYT, Twitch.tv/TYT. They're already live, and in 1 hour, Jared Jackson is going to be moving over to the Damage Report. We're going to be breaking down a ton, including some of the most recent little bits of news that have come out on the attack against Paul Pelosi. We got Tim Ryan actually winning over some Fox News viewers in real time. One of the most racist campaign ads I've seen in my life, and Fox News attacking kittens and puppies. So you know it's going to be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss it. So hit the like button if you haven't already. On your way out, that would be really nice to help out the channel. Reminder, new story, The Traveler, is up at patreon.com/John Irola. It's one of the stories I'm very proud of. I think that you'll enjoy it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in 1 hour for Big News Wednesday.